All right, so I'm here to talk a little bit about Scarred with George. We have George here today. He also helped me read this book. Very, very, very helpful little guy. So Emily McIntire, she really did this book justice. I think I was a little surprised. I'm more of a magic girly, I would say, or I'm more into magical systems. However, I really enjoyed this book. I would think of it more like a Bridgerton with a little bit of murder mystery and villains attached to it, and a proper takedown in the movie in the book. I think this one was musically written, is how I would call it. Very poetic in terms of the actual text of the book. I really enjoyed that. I would say on terms of like spice level, maybe like a 2 out of 10. Wasn't that far into the spice in this one. I don't think that, I don't know, I kind of found myself skipping those pages specifically. However, it was poetically written. It was a good enemies to lovers trope. Is a beautiful copy again, although I did not actually read this one in the actual hardcover. I am a Kindle girl. I read everything on my Kindle, whether I buy the hardcover or not. I think this one specifically made me think. Made me believe in like non-fated romance in the sense that they recognize something in each other that they saw in themselves. So I think throughout the story, is fairly evident that they were kind of the perfect fit for each other. So let's get into more specifics. So if you haven't read this book, go ahead, pause here, come back, read it. Let us know what you think in the comments and listen to this next step. So, Sarah was a very interesting character. I liked her resilience. I liked her good-naturedness. I liked that she was kind of, I would have liked to see more of the badass. She reminded me a lot of our Poppy from Blood and Ash, that kind of character that's been trained, with a weapon, or even maybe Sarah is more of a better. I'm thinking Primal of Blood and Bone this week, so I think Sarah would be a really good comparison to her character, where the villain that I expected Tristan to be, and I saw in the first chapters, wasn't the villain that I saw towards the end of the book, when they kind of fell in love and, he would do anything for her. I thought it kind of happened too quickly, to be completely honest. I think she lost me at some of the more like spicy scenes with them. There was a lot at stake and they both had similar goals, but they somehow found each other. And I think it's one of those that she probably could have done this book a little bit more justice with the magic system, because I'm just imagining like fated mates kind of thing. But I want to bring that into every single story. It's not you, Emily McIntire. It is me. However, loved this book. Really enjoyed it. I finished it in about 4.5 hours, so easy read. I really enjoy reading some of these like more lighthearted fantasy romances when I'm, not feeling well and, having a stressful week at work and things like that. So 10 out of 10 if you're just trying to escape into a pretty little world and, find someone to swoon over, because there was a lot of swooning, definitely. So I was most surprised and this is definitely, if you haven't stopped reading yet, this is definitely the spoiler section. And when I say that this is, I loved the prologue, and if you do get the special edition, there is an additional prologue in the back as well that was really interesting. It's kind of like it's kind of like about them kind of thing, and a little bit, I don't know, I thought it was very interesting. What makes them angry, and like kind of like an interview thing. However, the actual prologue in the Kindle version too was really interesting because I wasn't expecting them to hand over the crown at the end. And it really showed that, you know, although this was a villain trope and an enemies to lovers, really at the heart of it all, this was just a good-natured man trying to do what was right, to avenge his father, and she was avenging her father, and along the way they fell in love, and saw each other, and saw who each other were in that. And, you know, I'm one of those people that thinks that you have to be a little bit different to fall in love. You are contrast of each other. This book is very much, they recognize the same in each other and fell in love with that way. So it was beautiful. I highly recommend it. Give it a read and let me know what you think. All right, bye everyone.